The My Hero Academia series has easily become one of the best anime in recent years. With a great cast of characters each with their own in-depth personalities, the simulcast has been nothing but a joyride. It's with that said that we now get My Hero 1 Justice, a new fighting game that tries to convert the excellence of the show into a 3D fighter. For those that have been keeping up with the anime or the manga, My Hero 1 Justice's story starts off at the Versus Hero Killer arc. From there, it continues on to the next couple of arcs, transitioning between Season 2 and Season 3 of the anime. For fans of the series that already know the context of these characters, it works out pretty well. Story elements are presented in either a 2D manga fashion or completely redone in 3D. I personally appreciated the 3D remakes of some of the more memorable moments. Sure, there's stuff we've seen before, but the new perspective at least added some sort of value to some of the more pivotal moments. What I wasn't a big fan of were these 2D manga scenes. They're cool to look at, sure, but they don't really differentiate playing the story in a video game from reading the manga or watching the anime. Coming back to the people that are familiar with the anime, there are these what-if moments presented throughout the campaign. They offer different takes on scenes from the anime, occasionally providing some fanservice matchups too. All these moments are also fully voiced by the Japanese anime cast, so if you're a fan of the sub online, then you'll be happy with the performances here. Now, if you're just someone that's heard great things about the series and are jumping in blind, there really isn't anything here that'll give you any context to the background of these characters. You're sort of just dropped into the end of Season 2 of the anime without a lot of context. If you fall into that category of players, it can be really jarring and ultimately you're forced to go catch up on the series through any other means to understand the story mode in this game. Ultimately, I found the story mode to be alright for people that are already familiar with the series, but pretty bad for those that are just trying to jump in blind with this game. It's a package that feels tailor-made towards fans of the series, and if you meet the criteria, you'll find something interesting here, although it's still pretty minute. One Justice is a 3D arena fighter that looks like a more confined, destructible version of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja series. There's a total of 19 playable characters from the start, but one of them is unlockable through the story and another 2 are DLC. Each of the playable characters feel distinct from one another despite the controller scheme perfectly translating between them. For example, Bakugo's explosion quirk offers a lot more close range blast attacks, while someone like Ochako has close combat melee attacks that usually end up being up in the air. There's a lot of attention put into how the quirks of each character translates into the gameplay. I really appreciated that. As you'd expect, Deku is all about close-up high-speed combat, while someone like Froppy is more tactile, feeling very much more like her fighting style in the anime. When jumping into a battle, you'll choose your main hero to play as and 2 sidekick characters that act like assist. Your general moveset consists of normal, counter, and unblockable attacks that vary by the quirks of each of the characters. Other traditional fighting game mechanics like guards, dashes, and cancels are here too. As you build up your meter by landing attacks, you can then activate your plus ultra moves that can come in variations of level 1 to 3. These cinematic attacks feel like glorified fanservice for longtime fans of the series. Seeing Deku launch a Detroit Smash or Ochako dropping a bunch of debris onto somebody just looks absolutely fantastic. For anyone getting adjusted to the combat, you do have the option to turn on the normal mode that lets you use an auto combo mechanic like something out of Dragon Ball FighterZ or Persona 4 Ultimax. However, if you want to customize your combos, you can also resort to the manual mode to turn auto combos off. Admittedly, that seems a bit pointless with just how much damage an auto combo can do, unless you're really prideful about manually executing your combos. In practice, it all comes together to make some entertaining matches. Launching someone through the air right into a building to get them stuck is never boring to me. There's so much destruction here too, it really makes you think about how the environment can play into the strategy of matches along with your quirk. Now, this general combat scheme is found throughout all the offline modes in the game. There's an arcade mode that throws you into a series of matchups and a mission mode that has you completing minor objectives within matches. They're cool side padding, but really didn't feel all that different from the local multiplayer or the story mode. What does stand up on its own is the online multiplayer. You can jump into either ranked, unranked, or friend matches online. Performances generally varied between who I was playing against. Luckily, there wasn't any lack of people playing online, so I could easily find another opponent if I needed one. If you are playing on the Nintendo Switch, you have the option to play split Joy-Con, so you can play local multiplayer that way too. It generally supported just about every variation of a controller on the system. As for post-game content, really the only unlockables here outside of the new characters are gallery items and cosmetics. You can customize your online player card, give your characters costume changes, and see concept art from the game. It's nothing that I personally found all that attracting though. Outside of the new character, costumes were really the best thing in terms of unlockables, and even then, I tended to want to keep the characters in their original costumes, although there were a few funny exceptions. From a visual standpoint, One Justice reminds me a lot of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series that's also from Namco. The My Hero Academia world is presented here in a 3D art style that looks like a mix of a comic book and a manga coming to life. A lot of these characters translate well into 3D. Having Bakugo launching someone across the stage or Todoroki summoning a slide of ice looks pretty badass in 3D. On the other side, it's still really weird to see some of these characters just move around in 3D. I locked in so many hours into this game and I'm still not used to seeing Tomoda actually running around and doing attacks for once. One thing that stood out to me immediately while playing was just how much destruction there is in the gameplay. Matches generally had characters destroying the map in the middle of a fight, and so by the end of it, you usually had a bigger stage than what you started off on. There's so much action and chaos on screen that it feels on par with the Battlefield game in terms of how much things you can destroy. As for performance, I found that mileage varies between the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, even between the different playstyles on the Switch. Playing on PS4 offered the best experience. Gameplay ran at 1080p 60, and even with all the destructible objects and the Ochako cuteness on display, not once did it drop in performance. The Nintendo Switch on the other hand ran at 720p 30 in both handheld and in dock mode. However, I generally found the performance to be more favorable in handheld mode over the dock mode. The dock mode would more often see framerate dips anytime there was too much destruction or Ochako was just being the best girl. Loading times were also pretty lengthy between both versions, although the Switch version was significantly longer. It's for these reasons that I personally recommend picking up the PS4 version if you're stuck between the two, and if you're forced to pick it up on Switch because it's your only console, then I recommend playing it in handheld mode over dock mode. Let's just get this out of the way. No, there aren't any lyrical license songs from the anime in this game. Admittedly, it's kind of a bummer as I feel like a lot of the opening songs have been such ingrained parts of the anime. The instrumentals here are still pretty good and perfect for destructive matchups. You just won't be hearing Peace Sign anytime soon. What is here is still pretty cool. Back from the anime is the Japanese voice cast. This means that you won't get any weird moments where you're just spending time reading the text with the game silently, because just about everything is fully voiced. However, if you prefer the English voice cast over the Japanese one, you're gonna be out of luck here. The Japanese voice cast is the only option here, and that might be a bummer for those of you that are watching the anime dubbed. However, their performances are stellar, and I love that they're not just reading old lines, but reading new ones too. If someone was playing this game in front of me and I couldn't see what was on screen, I could definitely mistake it for a scene from the anime. My Hero One Justice is a nice companion to the anime for fans of the series. It complements a lot of the moments from Season 2 to 3, and it's sure to scratch the itch for anyone seeking their next fix until Season 4. The story elements here are pretty bare if you've seen the anime already, and if you haven't seen the anime, you're probably gonna get lost. However, the multiplayer battles that are the meat of the game essentially are still pretty entertaining, even if the offline mode doesn't offer a ton of diversity. It's for these reasons and more that I give My Hero One Justice a 7 out of 10. If you found my review useful, then please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share the video with your friends. It helps more people find out about my videos, and I really do appreciate it. I'm trying really hard to hit 100,000 subscribers soon, trying to make this my full-time job before I graduate, and so every share does help. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and keep on gaming.